Now that you've read through the notes on molar mass, we can start doing some molar mass calculations. It is very imperative that you understand these basic calculations of Avogadro's number and molar mass, because as we progress through this unit, the calculations start to get more in depth and they're fairly long. That's just a caution. They're not difficult, there's just a lot of steps. So it's important that you understand these beginning ones because they will start to build on each other. So for this question, it's asking to determine the mass. So we're looking for mass of 0.625 moles of phosphorus trifluoride, and that part's really important. So what do we know? Well, our two formulas when we're doing molar mass calculations are N equals mass over molar mass, and mass equals moles times molar mass. And again, it's really important that you understand what these variables are. So we know that N is moles, little m is molar mass, is mass, even I'm getting confused, and big M is molar mass. And it's also important to notice what the units are. So for moles, we just say mole. Mass is in grams, and molar mass is grams per mole. Okay. Now let's go back to our question. So the first thing that we need to do is determine the molar mass of phosphorus trifluoride. To do that, we need to figure out what's the molar mass of phosphorus plus, and since there are 3 fluoride, we have to do 3 times our molar mass of fluoride. So if we go into our periodic table, we'll see that the mass of phosphorus is 30.97. We'll add that to 3 times however much the fluoride is, which is 19. And we will get our total molar mass for the molecule, which is 87.97 grams per mole. And because some people might be using periodic tables online, some will be using the one I handed out in class, this might differentiate just slightly based off of what periodic table you're using. Don't be discouraged as long as it's within a very reasonable amount, 0.1 either direction, you'll be okay and you'll get the correct answer. So now we need to figure out which of the formulas I'm using or what I'm solving for. So I'm looking for mass. So mass equals moles times molar mass. We know that my moles is 0.625. We're going to multiply that by my molar mass, which was 87.97. Mass is going to equal 54.98 grams of phosphorus trifluoride. And there's our answer. And again, I can't stress enough how important it is to state the unit and what you were looking for. Okay, and so here's another example that we're looking at, and it is determine the amount of moles in 13.52 grams of sodium chloride. I'm also just realizing that this says example 1 and the other one says example 2. Don't worry about that, just do each of them, please. So we're looking for the amount of moles, and we have mass of sodium chloride. Remember, we always have molar mass because we can find it on the periodic table. So if we're looking for moles, and that's always my highlighter, which I tend to do often, I don't want that. If we're looking for moles, it's going to be moles equals mass over molar mass. I'll write it again down here, mass over molar mass. Well, let's find our molar mass of our sodium chloride. Remember, we have to add sodium and we have to add chloride. So our sodium is 22.99 plus 35.45. And that gives us 58.44 grams per mole. So over here, we're going to write 13.52 divided by 58.44. our moles should equal 0.231 moles of sodium chloride. One thing that people will ask is how many decimal places to carry, how many sig figs to carry. I'm not particular in grade 10, but in the IB program, you will be asked to carry as many as there are in the question. So if we look at the question, it says that there are 13.52 grams of sodium chloride, so that's 4 sig figs, so you'd be expected to carry that in your answer. My rule of thumb for this class is generally carry 3 numbers after the decimal place unless they are very, very small. So if you had a number like n equals 0.002, I'd rather you tell me 3 more numbers after that. So let's say it was 3, 6, 7. Just because these calculations are very specific, and the more specific that you can be, the better off that you are.